Welcome to another conversation off the clock. Hi, I'm Carmina Constantino Torres, and this is Casey After Hours.
I just shook his hand and I said, Mr. President, thank you for the trust. Galing sa Procter & Gamble, ang alam lang niyan magbenta ng detergent. Sorry, I cannot give you a lot of time to think through.
Okay ka lang ng okay. Yes ka na lang ng yes. Is this by design? I mean, what fuels you? Is ambition even part of it? Paano pag nagkabangga ang opinion mo, position mo, dun sa kung anong gustong opinion at posisyon ng pamahalaan, ng administrasyon?
I welcome very much feedback. I want always to be checked. Sa akin, ang anchor lang natin dapat lahat, the Constitution and the law. Yun lang. With regard to the decision kasi of Solicitor General Maynard, I think
A reset button, usually something you'd find in a manual, is also something our government seems to have. Ang tanong ng marami, bakit? Ang sagot ng Pangulo, it's necessary, especially when the country faces tough issues and legal battles that affect every single Filipino. Himayin natin the role, the weight, and the responsibilities of the government's top lawyer, who returned to service at a time when the country demands clarity and conviction. Kwentuhang Bayan naman tayo with the newly appointed Solicitor General, Darlene Berberabe. Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe. I'm still gonna have to get used to that, but welcome to the podcast.
thank you, Carmina. Through my different roles, we've been friends all this year, so thank you. Thank you again for this
opportunity. The last time we
opportunity.
talked was when you were newly named as the Dean of the UP College of Law. That was just last year.
Yeah, that was in 2023, December of 2023.
This-
So maybe
oo,
the
oo.
interview was like a month or 2 months after.
Correct.
Yes.
And now I'm now interviewing you as a newly installed Solicitor General. Tell us how it happened.
Okay. It was very fast. I remember the week when there was an announcement in the news by the president that he asked for the courtesy resignation of the cabinet members. So I, together with my colleagues in the UP College of Law, we were in a right shop with the Supreme Court justices. We were drafting some rules for the Supreme Court. And then we received the news and everyone was joking. So there's a lot of vacancy in the government. Maybe we should all go to Metro Manila because we were out of town and apply for the roles. So, but that was just like the joke among us. So on my way home, I got a call from the executive secretary and asking me if I would be willing to be considered for the Solicitor General. And and then he said that, sorry, I could not give you a lot of time to think through it. So just say if you are willing for your name to be submitted to the president. And then I said yes, to be considered. And I thought that, I'm sure that they're getting a lot of names for the consideration. So I wasn't really sure. So in fact, the week after, we were about to go to out of the country for an academic summit, and I still went to that trip for UP. And then I got a call again from the executive secretary saying that you will have your oath taking on Thursday, so be back here in the Philippines.
So oath-taking na kaagad.
Oath-taking na kaagad.
From being would you like to
Considered.
be considered to your oath-taking
Yes.
will be coming up.
Yes. So that was like maybe not even a week. So it was really a surprise for me, for UP Law, and I think also for the OSG organization. And then oath-taking on Thursday. And then the next day was my first day in office. So Solgen Maynard Guevara and I already had our turnover meeting, and I hit the ground running.
But when was it that you came face to face with the president? Was it before the oath taking, after the oath taking? Have you had a chance to talk to the president?
So it was during the oath taking itself. So I did not have the opportunity to speak with him before. And that's why I wasn't really sure if I will be selected. And then, so during the oath taking, I just shook his hand and I said, Mr. President, thank you for the trust. And then he told me, Well, I'm the one who should thank you because you said yes. There was a role that was previously offered to me, and he said, you said no to my previous offer. And then I said, "Oh, Mr. President, was it really you who offered that role? Because I thought that the one who presented to me the opportunity just mentioned your name so that I would say yes." No, 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 no. It was me who offered that.
What was that?
So there was another role also in government, but I was just elected as the Dean of the College of Law. So I politely said that I wanted to really finish my term as dean, and he remembered, and so that was the first time that we had the
But
conversation.
correct me if I'm wrong. You were also, being considered for the Supreme Court.
Yes, so I was nominated to the Supreme Court for the vacancy upon the retirement of Justice Mario Lopez. So I was nominated by Chief Justice Art Panganiban and Justice Conchita Morales Carpio. And so there was also a process, a lot of examinations, public panel interview, and I wasn't sure because they will submit the judicial bar council will come up with a short list
Correct.
to be submitted to the office of the president for his selection, and then it came out after I already took my oath, so I was part of the short list as well.
Hindi ka ba naguluhan? Ano bang pipiliin? Because you already at that time when you said, okay, it's fine if you said yes to being considered. That's one. But then you also were already going through the process. That's two. Bakit hindi mo sinabi na, ay, nandito na ako. I went through the process of the JBC. Hintayin muna natin to. Why was it easy for you to say, okay, yes, you
Okay.
can consider?
Yes. So I knew that, Executive Secretary also told me that, sorry, I cannot give you a lot of time to think through. And I knew that it was also the president who will select the one who will be the justice of the Supreme Court. So if he will eventually select me as the Solicitor General, then that also meant that he's not going to choose me for the justice. So because he's the decision maker.
So it was just a matter of the fit and
Yes.
what he needs at this moment.
Yes. So he has the discretion and he has the wisdom of who to put in a particular role. So I just took it as, okay, you be here in this role.
Which brings me to the question, why was it, I mean, I've known you, as you said, for years, and it's always easy for you to just say yes. Okay. Diba? Tanungin ka, Darlene, pwede ka bang ganito? Okay. Okay. Okay ka lang ng okay. Yes ka na lang ng yes. Is this by design? I mean, what fuels you? Is ambition even part of it?
Okay. So when I'm asked that question, or when you also put it like it's easy for me, it's actually, well, from my perspective, it's not. It's also, at the same time, it's also easy in the sense that I am willing and open to accept an opportunity even if it gives a lot of uncertainty. So my exhibit A is Pag-ibig Fund. So I was already preparing to go to Singapore to be an expat for Procter and Gamble, a multinational. And then Vice President Pinay also asked me that question, are you willing to be considered? It's the same. And then I said yes. And then a few days after, I was appointed by President Pinoy. So, and I didn't know anything about housing and finance. I didn't know anything about management. I only had one person, one paralegal in Procter and Gamble. And then I was thrust in that role, 5,000 employees in the organization. So it was a lot of playing by ear, listening to the people who have been there for so many years, asking them questions. There was a comment when I became CEO, some people who didn't welcome my being the new CEO, their comment was, oh, bakit yan yung ginawang CEO? Galing sa Procter and Gamble, ang alam lang yan magbenta ng detergent. And so all my supporters were like trying to tell me, CEO, this is their comment against you. And then I said, ganun ba? Tama naman yung comment nila. Wala nga naman akong alam dito sa housing finance. So, but, I thought that, I have to accept these are my weaknesses. These are the areas where I am strong. I know how to ask questions. I am humble enough to accept that, okay, mas marurunong tong mga to sa akin, and I will just use my good judgment to choose which will be the priority programs and implement them. So, what do I think is my trait that enables me to say yes for opportunities that give a lot of uncertainty? I think I just have the courage. Even if I don't see the consequences or I don't see my future, I just know and harp and on my strengths and weaknesses and just play it by ear.
But I guess that the more important, listening to you now, it's that willingness. The willingness to do. Kasi kahit naman mag-yes ka, pero walang willingness sa likod nun, nag-yes ka lang. But as evidenced by all the positions that you have taken in the past years, you don't just say yes. You made it happen for all these entities because there was willingness to do the work behind it.
Well, you are correct. So, willingness to learn, willingness to do the hard work, because if I have to study, I will really study. So, if I don't know anything about this subject matter, in housing finance, we went to school for short courses. I tried to learn on the job. So same with the deanship for the academe, and then now with the Solicitor General. So I am back to like reading and studying, and it helped that I haven't really stopped being a student. So when I was dean, I was in fact in the middle of pursuing my PhD in philosophy. So I was able to finish my coursework, 33 units, and then I studied and prepared for my comprehensive exams. That happened in December 2024. I passed my comprehensive exam, so I'm in the stage of my dissertation. So I think that helped because I'm used to reading, I'm used to writing.
But here's the thing. I'm listening to you now, right? Solgen Berberabe. But iisa lang naman ang relo nating lahat, di ba? Yung 1 o'clock sa akin, 1 o'clock din sa'yo. Pero bakit yung sa amin 24 hours, pero parang sa'yo ang dami mong oras? How are you able to do all of these things in one day?
Okay, una, hindi ako masyado mahilig matulog. Ano ba? So, and then...
Bakit parang sayang? Sayang ang oras mo pag itutulog mo?
Parang, minsan may ganun ako na, pag gising na. So, although, no judgment dun sa mga iba-iba tayo ng may efficient pagka nakatulog ng madami, okay lang yan.
Okay.
So but for me, when I wake up, parang I need to take care of our dog, so I have to walk him, and then I want also to be able to cook for my family, and then I have to like order items for the grocery. So medyo personal and then professional. Gusto ko parang wired din ako in a certain way. So that's why I take on a lot of tasks, and other people might say, "Ay, she has so much on her plate," but I don't feel it naman. Parang I'm able to parang organize lang the hours of my day, and then I'm able to exercise every day as well. So when I wake up, so I exercise for 40 minutes, and that's part of my day. It gives me the right
energy.
mood and energy every day. to start my work.
Hindi pa rin ako makapaniwala that you do all the, I mean, but let's talk about the tasks. You say you're able to take on all these tasks. And this recent one, I mean, what a task, being the Solicitor General of the Republic. Iba kasi yan eh. Pagiging abogado ng gobyerno, ng Republika, kung kinakailangan na nandyan ka. What makes this particularly interesting to you? You also said you've never stopped being a student. But what is it about this position now that is particularly interesting?
Okay, medyo interesting, challenging, because the role of the Solicitor General is the principal defender of the Republic of the Philippines. So I am now back to my profession, which is law practice. So I've started my law practice after taking up law and graduating and taking the bar in 1999. So, and then I moved to a management track. Okay, so now I'm just back to law practice. So this is a very big opportunity to shape jurisprudence. So meaning how we frame the issues that are confronting our country. If there are matters which are of transcendental importance to the nation and to promote the public welfare, there is also opportunity to raise certain issues and maybe elevate the discourse with regard to certain legal matters that can be decided by the Supreme Court. So it's kumbaga ito parang lahat nung inaral ko as a law student at pinractice when I was a lawyer in the law firm and a general counsel for a multinational. So ito ibang level naman. Pagtatanggol para sa Republika upang ang ating mga leader, for example, in the executive, our president, our Congress, our Senate, and the different government agencies can do their work. And sana, of course, ang gusto lang naman ng ating lahat, walang aabuso sa kapangyarihan at kung maaayos lang na gagampanan kung ano ang mandato natin. Sana makatulong naman ang Office of the Solicitor General to defend the actions that are promoting the public welfare.
Paano pag nagkabangga? Paano pag nagkabangga ang opinion mo, posisyon mo, dun sa kung anong gustong opinion at posisyon ng pamahalaan, ng administrasyon?
Sa akin, ang anchor ko at saka tingin ko dapat din ang anchor ng ating mga leaders would be the Constitution and the law. Kasi pagka may mga batas na ginawa ang ating legislators, so ang gagawin lang naman na executive, tupadin yung mga batas. Okay? So, kaya nga executive, So, execute na the programs. And then the law is there to support the execution of the programs. Legislature, gumawa naman ng mga batas. Judiciary, interpret the law. So, kanya-kanya ng role. So, sa akin, for example, meron akong mga personal convictions not necessarily reflected sa batas. Sa akin, ang anchor lang natin dapat lahat, the Constitution and the law. Yun lang. And then, what is the spirit behind the law and the Constitution? So, laging rule of law should be for the promotion of justice. So, what is just? Kaya sa akin, when the law is implemented, when the law is interpreted, there is always the text that you go to. Kasi importanteng basahin, paano ba yan sinulat? You don't have to be a lawyer to understand and, okay, this is applicable to me. Kailangan bawat isang ordinaryong tao na iintindihan siya. So, and then the spirit of the law is, it is not there to oppress the marginalized, the poor, those who cannot defend themselves. So the law is there so that we will have we will have a just society. So, always the spirit should be taken into consideration. Kaya sa akin, as the law firm, as the legal defender of the Republic, there is also that role and opportunity for me to sana to advise also the potential clients, the government agencies, to follow what the Constitution and the law says para makaiwas na tayo doon sa mga conflict.
Which we're gonna go to in a bit. But first, alam naman natin yung nangyari dun sa sinundan yung Solicitor General, Bernardo Guevara. We talk about the ICC jurisdiction. He had to make that decision to recuse because it cannot differ from the stand that he had taken in the previous administration. So let me ask you now, Solgen, what is your stand regarding the jurisdiction of the ICC in the Duterte drug war cases?
With regard to the decision kasi of Solicitor General Maynard, I think he was trying really to come up with a consistent position. And previously, the pronouncements also of the president then was ICC did not have jurisdiction. So I am not just able to say with or definitively the position that we will adopt. I have yet to confer with the Secretary of Justice, with the legal team of the President as well with regard to this. But the OSG is open to reconsider that position. Maybe because there were different events that happened and different consideration, especially when the Secretary of Justice invoked also the cooperation with the Interpol. Okay. So, at yun ang kailangan namin pag-usapan. Okay, so because again, I am mindful that we defend the actions and the decisions of the Republic and now represented by the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Kasi mahirap naman na magkasalungat.
Mahirap talaga. Kasi ang abogado pati, meron siyang unique role talaga. Kahit na mas madaling maintindihan siguro ng mga private citizens. Pag kumukuha ka ng abogado, gusto mo yung abogado na iintindihan yung interes mo at ipinagtatanggol at sinusuportahan yung interes mo. Oras na yung abogado mo, hindi na kayo aligned. Kahit siguro yung abogado magsasabi na I think client, it is due that you have to replace the lawyer. Kasi kailangan trusted mo ang iyong abogado. So, kailangan pareho kayo ng pagtingin at kailangan naman si abogado rin dahil kung mali ang gusto ni kliyente, si abogado meron ding responsibilidad na sabihin ito ang tama, ito ang mali.
Yeah, but not to say that the president didn't trust the former Solgen. Hindi po ganun yung nangyari.
Hindi ganun. And in fact, in my conversation with the president, you know, he had very good words for Solgen Maynard. Okay, he said that he trusted Solgen Maynard very much. He was Maynard was the family's lawyer. That's my understanding as well, and the relationship was long-standing. So perhaps there are like some political considerations or appearances that that mattered at a certain point in time.
There are talks, Solgen, that maybe the country should reconsider going back to the ICC. Will your office have anything to do with that? Considering that there is a question before the court as well.
Okay, so perhaps the president could ask for the inputs of the OSG with regard to the legality or what will be the legal impact. So advisory. But usually the role really and the responsibility of the OSG is when there are already cases that have been filed. Okay.
Pero mahirap naman din siguro kung right this moment, while there is this unresolved issue still with the former president, na magre-rejoin sa ICC, wouldn't that muddle things?
Well, maybe not because there has already been a decision by the ICC that they have jurisdiction.
Okay.
Tapos, meron na ring mga parties and they have their councils. So, tutuloy-tuloy na lang siya. So, I think that the consideration, I am not sure with regard to the definite position of the president. I just heard also the spokesperson say that that the president is studying that option. So I don't think that that's an impediment, but I think that the consideration would be what will be the policy of this government with regard to the human rights protection and respect for international law.
You know, we've seen the office of the Solicitor General get weaponized. What assurance can you give the public, Solgen Berberabe, that under your watch, this will not happen?
In my different roles, I value very much integrity, professionalism. And for me, integrity really is the one value that I would demand of all public servants, and I think of all human beings, just as human beings. I'm very, I feel so strongly about doing the right thing, and I would also use my strong background in philosophy in discerning what is good for the public welfare and for the people. I did not spend my years as lawyer from the University of the Philippines, whose values are honor and excellence, and just waste it by weaponizing the law and giving all the institutions that I went to, my hometown, Batangas City, the name of my parents, to just waste and not give due consideration to what is good for the Filipino people. I take this as an opportunity that this is like the highest chance to serve our country and be part of nation building. I welcome very much feedback. I want always to be checked, okay? And I don't think that it is a sign of weakness to be corrected when I think that I'm the only one that has the monopoly for the best ideas. So, and that's why I always am open and welcome to feedback if if they think that I'm not doing the correct decision for a particular case.
I like what you said. In so many words, ang sinasabi niyo po, Solgen, filosofiya, hindi politika.
Yes. Philosophy for me is important in the sense that it's a lot of discerning what the law is for. And that cannot be taken for granted. Okay? Kasi pwede tayong laging technicality ang pinag-uusapan.
At ang dami niyan, ha? Pag kasi sinabi mo ng technicality, kahit anong technicality, pwedeng mahanap na nakita naman nating nangyari in the
Yes.
past. Go ahead.
So, ang ginagawa ko kasi usually pagka mga abogado, yung training kasi rin namin sa law school, parang if you are tied to a particular cause, sometimes you get carried away na kahit na nakita mo na naman na may point naman siya talaga, pero hindi, pagtatanggol ko to. So, kaya sa akin, importante yung and in fact sa Solicitor General, may mga certain cases na initially ito yung position niya, pero pag nakita niya na ay mali, inosente pala yung accused. So pero representing siya ng Republic of ng people of the Philippines. So pwede siyang mag-change ng position kasi as tribune of the people, kailangan hindi niya hayaan na merong inosenteng tao na mako-convict. So pag oras na nakita niya na mali pala yung posisyon niya, na taliwas pala yung tama doon sa interest ng kliyente niya, pwede siyang bumaliktad ng position. So, which emphasizes that there is a unique role for the Solicitor General as tribune of the people.
Pwede, kaya mo. Knowing yourself, are you able to do that?
So, lahat ng mga nag-congratulate sa akin, parang isang common lang na message ang sinasabi ko sa kanila. I'm mustering all my courage and really praying for wisdom because I'm committed to really give all of my courage to make the right decision for our country. So, siguro ito na, dito ko na makukuha yung pagiging Batanggenya ko na hugutin ko na lahat ng
Balisong na
ng
meron
tapang at lakas ng loob para gawin yung tama.
So about impeachment, alam naman natin na yan ang pinag-uusapan. And I know for a fact that it may just end up having the Office of the Solicitor General within the mix. We don't want to go into details. Of course, we don't want to compromise whatever it is that the OSG will do. But give us a sense of the parameters or the factors that will lead the impeachment of the Vice President to the doorstep of the OSG.
So ngayon, meron tayong mga nagbabanggaan na magkakaiba yung posisyon, Congress and then Senate. So pwedeng kung merong mga kaso na ifa-file sa Supreme Court, so pwedeng mapunta ang OSG sa isang posisyon na sino kaya ipagtatanggol niya doon kasi parehong government eh. So pagka mga ganoon,
exciting pala.
Oo. So meron din na again discernment kung alin dito ang posisyon or pwede rin naman na dahil pareho siyang government agency, pwede rin naman na ang OSG will take a stand na okay, Senate, your legal counsel, you will be represented by your legal counsel, and House of Representatives, you will be represented by your legal counsel. Pwedeng ganoon.
Pwede bang out-of-court settlement headed by the OSG? Pwede ba yun?
Pwede rin. Kasi ang lawyer, in fact, sa law practice, mas maigi nga sana na merong alternative modes na ma-settle natin. Hindi naman lahat sana. Pangit din yung meron kang conflict or meron kang dispute, lagi ang sasabihin mo, file mo sa court or i-file mo sa Supreme Court. Ang tunay na buhay naman, di naman ganun nangyayari, di ba? So sana, pag-uusap para maklarify saan ba ang diferensya natin. Baka naman hindi talaga diferensya. So minsan may pride lang and I'm making this like general lang. So parang kahit sa ordinary disputes kasi ganun din na nangyayari. So minsan kaya kailangan meron kang mediator.
Oo. But if that were to happen, ito ano lang to naglalaro lang yung isip ko dito, but if that were to happen, can the OSG just step in at any point? Or kailangan na patawag ka ng Senado, na Kongreso para sabihin, tulungan mo naman kami dito?
Oo. So, pagka ngayon kasi na nakatingin tayong lahat, di ba, mga tao, and these are our elected officials. So, nasa legislative branch of the government at meron silang kani-kanilang responsibility. So, para sa akin, the executive, our leaders from the executive branch, legislature, so let them do their work. So sila ang nakakaalam dyan. Yung mga politicians, sila yung nakakaalam dyan. So kaya, parang sa akin, medyo alangan naman na
bibida-bida ka doon.
Na parang, ako, may sasabihin ako, pakinggan mo ako. So, hindi. So let the political actors perform their responsibilities, and always siguro bilang abogado, and yun din naman ang gusto ng lahat, all of us will just be guided by our constitution and again the spirit of the constitution. Kung ano yung pagkaintindi ng ordinaryong tao, yun siguro ang dapat natin ding iniisip. Take a step back. Ano ba ang gusto ng constitution natin? Kaya sa akin, mahalaga ring rule of thumb yung tanggalin kaya natin yung masyadong technicalities. Tingnan lang natin, yung simplihan lang yung issue para mas, minsan may worth yun.
Parating may worth.
Yung mas yung simplihan lang yung issues. Baka mas matunto natin yung solusyon.
You've seen the law from various perspectives. Sa tagal ng karera mo bilang abogado, what to you is the biggest injustice you've ever seen?
Ako, marami. Pero parang sige, I'll just describe it in general terms. Ang pinaka nakakagalit sa akin yung ginagamit yung mga institutions to weaken our democratic values and to weaken also the institutions. Sa akin, we have to continue to strengthen our institutions, the Supreme Court, the judiciary. We have to respect their independence. The executive, kailangan napakaganda kasi ng constitution natin, yung framework ng government natin and how we do our work. May kanya-kanya silang responsibilidad. Pero oras na merong nalunod sa kapangyarihan at inisip na pwede silang gumawa ng hindi tama and to get away with it, yun ang nakakalungkot kasi ibinoto ka, naniniwala tayo sa democracy, naniniwala tayo na bawat isa sa atin isa-isang boto yan. 'Di ba? Hindi tayo kagaya ng mga iba na may electoral college. Sa atin ang laki ng respeto natin sa bawat isa, boboto ka. At kung sino yung pipiliin mo, these are the leaders that you put in power. So ang gusto lang natin sana, when you use that power, isipin mo naman that's a public trust, that's you're accountable to the people. May hangganan ang kapangyarihan, hindi yan unlimited. And you have to respect also the trust that has been reposed on you by the people. So sa akin, kung na-corrupt yung institutions, yun yung parang
Biggest injustice.
foul sa akin yun.
Let's talk about the greatest challenge ahead, knowing that that's the biggest injustice you've ever seen and continue to see. Now, as the Solicitor General, what to you is your biggest challenge, the biggest challenge ahead of your office?
So, to me, because of the many political events that are unfolding, na nga kami, parang, we have to study this issue kasi baka mag-ripen into litigation. The next day, there's another case.
So,
parang
parang sunod
ang
na
dami.
pinapatay.
And then, aside from the other routine cases that we are handling, all the expropriation, all the reversion cases, all the marriage-related cases, so I think the biggest challenge would be really to discern what is good for the Filipino people. Because, I'm always like, every day I'm reading at the mandate of the Solicitor General, and it is, you're the defender of the Republic of the Philippines. And then the next question is, okay, so what is the interest of the Republic of the Philippines? Because you have a lot of leaders. So what is that? So I think that, in every case, discerning really what is best for the Filipino people is the biggest challenge.
But what about the fact that you were appointed by the sitting president? Does that complicate things for you? Pumapasok ba ang utang na loob para sundin kung ano man ang gusto niyang mangyari at ito ang kailangan mong gawin?
Okay. So, just like, for example, maybe the members of the judiciary, the members of the Supreme Court, who are all appointed by the President of the Republic of the Philippines. But the members of the judiciary, one of the values should be, they should be independent and impartial. So, those qualities should be upheld and respected by the people who are appointed by the president. So all of us, and I think also the president, he is minded to support what he thinks is right. He is minded and his directions are what is said by the Constitution, this is what. So doon
Yeah.
aligned
Yeah.
kami. So kaya
I get it.
kahit kay siguro dati kay Vice President Binay, ganoon ako. So because he is the president and he is the representative of the Republic of the Philippines, I will also always have to align with him, and that's why I will always ask him, Mr. President, ito po ang posisyon ko, ito po ang tingin ko. And I think dapat ready rin lang ako na, ay Lelen, hindi na tayo tugma. Then I have to replace you. So sa akin, prerogative of the President. Prerogative yan.
Kayo na rin po ang nagsabi, ang daming nangyayari sa bayan, daming mga political issues na nangyayari. At kalimitan, hindi kalimitan, ang nangyayari na nga, nalulunod na ang taong bayan sa problemang politika. Pag kayo po ang tatanungin, Solgen, saan ba patungo ang bayan na ito? Ano po ang sagot ninyo?
Naniniwala pa rin ako kahit na maraming ingay, ang raming gulo, kaya sa akin importante, what are the values of democracy? Gusto natin, nag-e-election tayo, pumipili tayo ng mga leaders. Meron tayong mga leaders na pinipintasan natin. Bakit ba ganito ang klase ng mga leaders? Pero sa akin, ito binoto natin eh. So may problema ba tayo? Sa akin, yung proseso, I respect that democratic process. So we pursue the work every day. So kailangan wag fake news, kailangan ma-educate natin ang bawat isa, saan ba tayo. So it might be a slow process because bata pa tayo eh. Yung mga ibang bansa, isipin na lang natin. Baka bilib ba tayo sa US? Sila nga may pinagdaan ng slavery. Tayo nga walang ganun eh. Yung iba, yung mga punishment nila, pinanunood nila na pinapatay sa harapan nila yung mga punishment. So, sa atin, ang kasaysayan natin ay bata pa tayo. So, medyo kailangan ng pasensya, ng oras, pero walang bibitaw. Again, kaya the institutions are very important. So, huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa. At kailangan meron tayong mga short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Kailangan lang pagtatrabahuhan natin.
Nating lahat.
Nating lahat.
Hindi lang ng politiko, hindi lang ng kung sino ang nasa gobyerno, pero tayong lahat.
Definitely. Lagi ko nga iniisip, kung bawat isa lang sa atin, we will take care of how we improve ourselves. Isa-isa. Kasi oras na merong isa na hindi gumawa nung responsibility na ganon, and then bibit-biting kita kasi tutulungan kita. Okay? So we reserve that opportunity for those who really cannot take care of themselves, the sick, may mga pangangailangan sila. So pero kung lahat ng able-bodied, gawin lang natin yung bawat responsibility natin. First to be in the know, and then wag maging purveyor of fake news. So yun lang, napakaliit pero malaking responsibility in doing our own role. And then to check also our public servants, kung meron silang mali, call them out. So bawat isa ay may kailangan gawin. So wag din nating hayaan yung mga politicians natin na sila lang ang nagiging bida sa pelikula ng ating buhay at pelikula at magiging kapalaran ng ating bansa. So, makiisa rin tayo.
Solicitor General Darlene Berberabe, thanks for joining us here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carmina. Thank you very much.
And that's it for another episode of KC After Hours. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.